Hi, this is Big Mama. I finished my April Dear Julie challenge, and I wanted to do a flip through of my journal for you. And so here she is. I want to go through all of this as fast as I can for you so that you can have some supper or maybe invite some friends over, play some cards. So the way the journal is designed, we have a topper that goes on top of the journal itself, and the topper is our closure. So I will just jump right in and show you how this works. Untie it, and my little gator is now free to roam, and I will show you this little one. I had Susan Taylor Brown had given me a bunch of old book covers, and so this was one of them, and we'll put a little signature inside it. This is Julie's digital here, and then another book cover, and it is bound in with some lace. And then on this side did a pocket, and in here was part of the challenge where we were to make I probably won't remember the names of the items because I should have maybe made a list and all of those cool things that make you sound smart on a digital video. Digitals aren't what I'm making a video. Okay, all the words come out of my mouth may not make sense. I'm okay with that if you are. So anyway, you have inside here this place to write, and then I had made a top tuck on this book page, and what I had actually done is the book page was a little bit tall, so I just cut off the top and then glued it on here, creating that tuck, leaving the whole page together. I didn't know if they were going to have a separation anxiety, and so then here I love all of the foxing that was going on, and then some more page, and then here it flips open, and I've got a little pocket here, and there we go, and Julie's digital on the back of the envelope here, and digital inside the pockets, so that you have just a little folio. I have been asked a few times, what do you do with things like this? And this would be the kind of thing that if I had a friend from out of town I hadn't seen in a while, I would probably grab this and put it in my purse and maybe have them write, like this little card right here, where we went out to eat, and I might ask them, what was your favorite thing to eat, or what was your great memory of things that we did back in the day. That card would work really well for that, or I could put where we ate and what we had to eat, and then on the inside have them write in there a memory. So this then would go in the journal, and you would have their handwriting, something very, very special in there. It might be that you took a granddaughter or somebody out to eat for a very significant anniversary, like their 16th birthday or something, and you ask them to write some memory down there that when they're 40, they're going to be able to grab a hold of that and see it. So then some more of her digital and pages to write on, and then another book cover, and then the way it is held together is with this piece of lace that went through. Have a pocket with a little glassine bag envelope in here. So that is my topper. You see all of that, and it's just the topper, but here we go. I had not decorated this because all of the decoration is in that topper. Then we open it up. I made a lace pocket here, and this was another item we had, and it is a wallet, and so your wallet opens up and you have a place here that you can put your driver's license. So I put the backing of this, I have made it to where you can put a little bit of a picture or something down inside here, but you also see the butterfly. And then there's something here that you can put in the pocket. Then we have here this double pocket, and then this little belly band pocket where you just slide something in. And so, and then again the digital, and that's a botanical garden. I think that's what it's called. I should not be doing this. I can't remember anything. Okay, so then we were to take and do quilted on a 8 by 10 piece of paper. And so I took the quilt pieces, 1930s blocks, and took on them the hand stitching around it. This is Julie's digital here that I put some of the glossy accent on, and then did the tag here with her digital. And that was 7 Days of Summer digital that I used on that one. And then we have, this was my master board, and with the master board is her 7 Days of Summer, again digital, and I added the glossy accent and put some glitter in where the flowers are at. Made a little tuck here. I crocheted around a button and put it on here, and this is all hand stitching that I did on this antique quilt blocks that I pieced together. And then this is the kite fold, and so it is a folded up scrap of paper, and I put Julie's digital on the back here to hold it in place, but then this folds out for your kite fold so that you have a journaling. It really does work. So you can have your journaling spot there, but then I also have this where you can tuck something up underneath too, for all of those little secret notes that you want to make. And then that just tucks back underneath the flower. And I will then tuck it back here on my master board, the quilted master board piece that I did. And then this is the little notebook that we had to make. This one was, the special effect was to be how it is put together, like invitation is done. So we have the tissue paper here, then the place where you would put for who's invited. I gilded it on the edge, and then have some scrapbooking paper on here. And this is my clip to hold that in there. Then this is what we call a Zorro pocket, because you go shh, shh, shh. And so I don't do it nearly as good as Julie, but I fussy cut on the digital, and so I did that on these two places here. I tore the pocket, and then here again is the digital, and then on the digital I like to do some special effects on there. So I did the glossy accent with some glitter in it for the butterfly, and also on the berries, and then some gold there. And then here is part of that 8 by 10 page. And so then I also added this on here to where it is also a tuck, if you belly band, if you want to put something behind there. Pile everything over here and get it back where it belongs, right? Have some we used to have this back when I was working as a secretary, this copy paper. Let you know it's a copy. I have a book page here, and then this here is what she had called the X-ray. And so I put the butterfly, I cut this hole out and put this here, took some of the acetate there, put the butterfly, which is her digital, in there, but then I also pull this out, so you've got the butterfly is on the card itself. So this slides up right behind there to where the butterfly is on top of the butterfly. And then use napkin on the book page. Some more of the book page. Like to have some good journaling spots for you. And then this envelope is where I did the embossing, and this is Julie's digital. And then here is one more of those cards. You'll see a lot of these because when you do an 8x10, and then I went through and I did the embroidery on it. Then after I went through and did the embroidery on it, I was able to then cut it apart, and I zigzagged the pieces and put some of the dyed, it's coffee dyed and tea stained index cards, and then also did the embossing on here. And some more of her digital, and this is the golden doily digital. I'm hoping you can see as I'm flipping these pages. And then there's the other side where the envelope has got a window, and this is where we have the policy envelope, and this is where I did my puzzle piece. I put the digital on top of that, glossy accent, and then added in the glitter into that and put it on a scrap of doily there. And then also with the digital, I put it on here, and I just have a piece of paper in there that you can journal on. I also printed on her, this digital that is her sunflowers, I printed on a book page and put that on the inside of the envelope here, so that you have, and some book page here with the digital. And this, this is the where we were to do a peekaboo pocket, and I just put some funny money inside there so you'd feel rich even if you're not. And so you can see where I did all of the fussy cutting with the girl and cut out all of the pieces so that you can see the little peekaboo. And it says Banco de Sonero, but I like the little girl on there, and I thought that they look like friends. Who's not friends with money, right? And lots of journaling spots. The book page. This was a card that was from the gathering. One of the ladies had left, and so I thought that just was beautiful in here with the colors. And I also, this is Julie's Sunshine Days digital, and so this was where we were supposed to do the over under. So these are two pages, two copies of the page that I laid on top of each other, and then this pops open then, and you have a tuck here with a playing card that you can, then you have a journaling spot, and Julie's favorite number is 8, and so I thought that that should go in here. And so you have that surprise, and then that slides under to where it's all the same. And then I had the tuck spot that I put on this one with the digital, and then it has the pockets here. So I have some recipe cards that have the, I thought it just kind of stayed with the theme of the fruits and vegetables on there. And then I had this because the pieces that I cut were geometrical. And so I saw this with the little arrow that's cut, and then in the pocket, instead of doing a curve, I cut the V shape. and then some of the scraps of the material because I wanted to carry that all the way through to be cohesive. And then I saw this on my table and thought I'd better use some of my desk stuff, and so I just slipped that in there that you can journal onto. And that was a just because I wanted to thing, not because I had to. All right, so that is the end of the first signature, and this isn't it digital, just beautiful. Where's the golden doilies? So here is on the edge, and so you've got the journaling spots here. You've got pocket here. I've got this pocket is filled here, and this was supposed to go in that pocket there, and I got carried away putting things in the, no, I got one in there. Oh, come on. I have to prove it here. Ta-da! See? There we go. So I've got a place to write there. This one goes in here. And then I glued it on the edge here. And this is her, it's called a 6-pack, to where it flips up and over. And so then on the other side was the green page of the 6-pack. And so it flips to where you have this beautiful side here. And so I put the lace all on it, and then a piece of paper here too. Alrighty. And then for this book page, I just glued it down to a piece of Sarita's paper, and then this note, it was to be on the edge with the book page. And so I did the book page on the edge, and then I had some scraps of that material here and sewed an antique button to it just as an embellishment. I think they call those clusters. And then sewed in with some gold thread here. I just sewed in a couple of pages for your journaling for the notebook. And here where the edge had the holes, I went and cut the edge, put it over the paper, and then so you can still fill the holes, but I then took the gold pen and filled in the circles. And on this side then, because you could see where those circles were, I went ahead and filled in with the gold pen too. But this is actual glued on the top where I cut that edge off, and then put the book page here and book page over here, and got a little bit carried away with all of my gold. But you know, I do that sometimes I feel like gold finger. He's the man with the spider. Okay, there you go. My gold finger song for you guys. I hope YouTube doesn't kick me out because I sang. Oh no. All right, keep me on because I'm a bad singer. There you go. Some more pages. This was, we needed to do a book page double pocket, and so I also did a little pocket here. This is my hidden journaling card, and so I had a scrap of the I don't know why I can't remember index cards, but a scrap of index card. And so I put the scrap inside the scrap, so it got real scrappy. And then I had a hanky, a little piece of hanky still left from a project I had done. And so I took the hanky trim off. So I was using up scraps on this one, and then did one of the fancy ribbon folds, or antique ribbon fold, and the digital. And another part of that card with her digital. I call it card. It's an 8 by 10 that we were supposed to quilt, and so this is all the quilted. And then I put her digital on here with some glossy accent and some more fruits and vegetables. And that's her summer, 7 Days of Summer digital. And then we were to do a vellum on the edge. And this is where we were supposed to distress, and not just with distressed ink, but get gnarly with it. And so I beat the edge with my scissors, and then went and tore some lace and put underneath that so that it would give it a little bit of strength before I glued it down onto this page. And then just have a antique ephemera there from the Etude magazine. $2 a year to subscribe, 2 years for $3.50. You know that's vintage. Nobody does $1 for anything anymore. Alrighty. And here is a little tuck to use. And I'm going to go back and fill those pockets. I didn't realize that I'd gotten carried away with my tucks. Okay, and some more of the digital journaling spot, pages to journal on, and another one of those tucks. And then, you guys are going to have to trust me that I'm going to go back and fill those, right? Some more book pages to journal on, and moving right here to this edge here. This was the over the page waterfall, and so what you see on this side is on the other side also. And so I took some tissue paper, coffee dyed it, and then, well, tea. This is Louisiana decaffeinated tea, and so I put tea on it, and then I splattered some gold splatters on it, did the, she calls it messy thread bow, ran the messy thread through here also on the edges, and then my pages that I grunged up so that you could have a wonderful time writing, and some music page, and then the, I don't know why I can never remember all those things. So that is a, I want to call it scrapbooking paper, so that's what I'll just call it. So there you go. It's the exact same thing on this side as the other side because it waterfalls over. Okay, so last digital. This was my, I'm going to go with this one. It's a triple ripped thing, but Mimi, when she was here, she called it her mountains, her mountains, and so that's what I'm calling it, mountains. This is my round tag, and I put a pocket on the back, and then I made a notebook that you can then journal on the notebook that goes on the tag. And the way I did this is her digital. And I cut, if you can see, I put a little dot here and a little dot here where I put the 2 holes. Then I cut a slit in this whole round circle. It glued this top down, and then just around the bottom edge of this to create a pocket here on the bottom. And so then this can go right down there, and I put a label on here so you can write on there what it is that you are wanting to talk about in there. It may be that you decided to go to Weight Watchers, and pass or fail, you tried. And so you might want to talk about that. And there's my little girl. This was the 7 Days of Summer also. And I then, when I glued, I cut out 2 of this. And when I glued this one down, I took and shifted them to where they're like that, and then went with the gold pin then in where the 2 overlap. And on each side I used the gold pin. And then I have my little girl there, and I put glossy accents around the flower. And then this is a orange doily that was sent in the mail to me from Penny Pudge. And I had April 7th, 1915 magazine with these people on it. I thought, well, I know I don't have Tim Holtz people, but I had them in the magazine, and so I went and cut them out and put Julie's digital back behind them and a little postage stamp that I had gotten. Big Daddy went to a sale and had gotten a bunch of postage stamps that I gave the gals while they were here for the gathering. And then I've got some pieces of paper here you can journal on, and a letter that you can write, a legacy letter in here to your sweet babies, letting them know that special event. And then this is Sarita's paper, and some more journaling spots. This is my tall tag, and it was made out of a junk mail envelope, and it has a pocket on the side that I have a piece of paper in so that you can write on. And I thought that was a pretty piece of paper, and that it went really good with the digital. So this digital is separate from this one. This was the summer, 7 days of summer, and this is that botanical garden one. And so then I finished out the edges with some washi tape on here. And at the gathering, Mimi had brought some sari silk. It was just a big, huge bundle of it, and was ripped apart. Tara had taken time to rip it apart, and so this is a piece of Mimi's sari silk, and I just tied it together with a little bit of gold thread up there. And then we were to do a pocket. And so this is my pocket. It's closed with where it says miscellaneous, and I put some of my messy thread there. And so it just has a card in here that you can journal on. And so that was made out of a coffee filter, and I had printed her digital on the coffee filter, and then I have some gold splatters on it, and you can see how the gold splatters came through on this edge. And so then that slides underneath this vellum. My fingers do get a little fiddly. And so then that just slides. I took the envelope and glued it here and here to create a belly band. And so then this goes down inside there. Again, let's ooh and ah that digital. I just think it's so beautiful. I have used it in a few of my journals. I know that you've seen the other videos and know that I used that before, but I do like it. All right, so we're on the run home. Did a tuck there. Okay, so this is the back side of this, and so you can see that the whole family of people. I have a vintage card for you, and here's some more of that paper, another letter, and then that is the end of all of my signatures. And then here is the surprise in the back of my book. This is the other half of the masterboard. I crocheted around a button and put a little bit of a piece of that hanky here, and then it opens up and you have a treasure box in the back, and this is Julie's digital here. And then so that treasure box then goes this way to the end. And the way I sewed that in is this book part stayed intact and this stayed intact, and then when I added the material, I put the material to this page and then glued the masterboard over the top, securing the material into the spine. And so I did the same for the back side here. This was sewn into a floating spine, so all of these are sewn into it, and then this piece of material that is sewed into, I laid it down on this part and then covered it with my masterboard, holding that material in place. so that it's all then in the book. You can see the part of the book that was original and the part of the book that's original, and then this is the part, the signatures that I added. So that is the way I did that. And if you're interested in buying this, please put something in a comment that says, hey, Big Mama, I'd really like to have that fat baby to come to my house, and I'll get with you. This is where we were to do a gatefold, and so on the gatefold, I took the papers, and they are cut like a file folder on the top and the bottom, and put them so you've got this area here to slide something in. You've got this here, and so I just have a little card in there, and then your writing spot. And then here I did, with the material, I just took and made it into a V shape there, and so you have a pocket here, and then you have these two pockets here. And then I took the material, I took the pieces here, and then just overlapped them like that to create a pocket. And then you have the pieces here. Then, and these are some antique inventory slips that I slid in there for you. And that was using book page, and then just the scraps that I had left over. And the digital, again, this part of the digital, this is book page that I've just stained up, and this is the digital of the 7 Days of Summer. All right, I kept you for a whole half hour, and I hope that you're not too mad at me for keeping you that long. I probably blundered 1,000 times here, but that should give you a curve on when you do your videos. You're like, well, at least I'm not as difficult as Big Mama is to understand. Again, if you're interested in this girl, please just put something there in the comment, and I'll do my best to get a hold of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.